Why, hello there YouTube and welcome to a tag video. First tag I've done in ages. So this tag was created by David's Horror, I believe, and it is called the Horror 2022 tag. So a lot of people are doing this. I found this, I found this tag from Sean Patrick Urshan and noticed a couple of other people are doing it, like Lisa Loves and other people are tagged. So there's 10 questions and I'm going to do my best to answer them all. So here we go, let's just get on with it. So question 1, earliest memory of watching horrors. My earliest memory before, when I was a kid, the only horrors I would go around is probably Scooby-Doo and, stuff like that. But I remember my first real taste of horror, and that was 1996's Scream. It was my first real taste of horror, and people told me this is scary and that, and I never found it scary. I mean, there were a few moments that I did find a bit like creepy, a bit like unsettling, but all in all I found it funny, and I still do to this very day. I see now that this film has also revitalised the slasher genre, and I go on to tell people that this is the horror movie I lost my virginity to. Horror movie virginity. And I must have been about 11, 12 maybe. Still a young kid that shouldn't be watching it, but I did anyway. My sister, she couldn't sleep that night when she watched it. I made her watch it. I know. Siblings. Next one, favourite horror movie. Now, this is a tough one. I can't just pick one. I mean, I like loads of films. From subgenres. I like Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. I like Halloween. I like Dog Soldiers. I'm going to go with An American Werewolf in London as a final answer, even though it is one of my many favourites. So I'll go with that one. Question 3, favourite sci-fi horror movie. This is a no-brainer. It's Alien. Haunted house slasher film in space. And yeah, space. No one can hear you scream. You're buggered. With that xenomorph crawling around and the practical gore effects for the alien chest burst scene. Brilliant. So there you are. There's, do excuse the noise outside, there's someone shouting about, if you can hear it. Next question. Question 4, favourite horror subgenre. Well, I like a lot of subgenres. Probably the one I love the most is the slasher genre, because it's like killers killing people and having a whale of a time wearing cool masks. I don't know why I like that, I just do, and I find it inspirational for my own fan fiction and stuff. So I'll go with the slasher on this one, even though I like many other subgenres. Question 5, goriest horror movie. This one, again, is a no-brainer. It is Evil Dead 2013. That has to be the goriest film I've seen, and even got the Guinness Book of Records for the most used fake blood in a horror film in recent years. And yeah, it was a gore fest. Not a bad reboot. In fact, I go on as far as to say that this is a requel, not a full-on remake. It is, I feel it's its own film within the Evil Dead universe. And we get a post-credit cameo from Bruce Campbell as Ash. That's got to mean it's, not necessarily a full-on remake. So, Evil Dead 2013 is the goriest one I've seen so far in my life. But there's probably others too. But that's the one I can think of now. Question 6, an underrated horror movie. You know what, I never hear people talk about this one. It is a film from 1995. It is called Sleep Stalker. A film I remember watching one night when I was alone. Well, not alone, my mum and dad were asleep in the next room. I was about 14 or something. It was on late night on the BBC or something, and I remember watching this film, being creeped out by it, the Sandman and stuff. And over the years I've rewatched it, I thought, this is a very underrated film. Why does no one talk about it? It is a good one. Sleep Stalker. I really think you should check that out if you've not seen it, let alone heard of it. So, question 7. Favourite horror anthology? God, this is hard. I've seen so many horror anthologies, from American Horror Story, which are TV related, to Trick or Treat, to Creep Show. But one that I did really enjoy watching was Holidays, which were short films focused on holidays, from Valentine's Day to St. Patrick's Day to Easter to Father's Day to Mother's Day to Halloween and Christmas and New Year. Good anthology. Had some familiar faces in there too. And my favourite one, I've got to say, is the Easter short, which were creepy and weird, but I liked it. Okay, question 8. Favourite Stephen King film? This is a difficult one because I like many of Stephen King's films. But if I had to just go with one, I'll go with The Shining. Because again, I remember my parents telling me that it's scary, don't watch it. I watched it, I didn't find it scary, but I can see why people find it scary. But probably because I'm desensitized to all this. But it's still a good film, and good work from Stanley Kubrick. Stephen King didn't like this one, but surely he's got to appreciate royalties he gets from it, maybe. But yeah, The Shining, I'll go with that one, even though I like many of them. Next one. Favourite horror film from the last 10 years. Now, we've had a lot of good films come out in the last 10 years in horror. From Insidious to Sinister to Hereditary. But I'm going to go with another film from Ari Aster, which I enjoyed a lot more than Hereditary. That is Midsommar. It had Wicker Man vibes, folk horror vibes. Brought my attention to actress Florence Pugh, who is now a brilliant actress that I know, and she is great in all her films, and I like her. And I like this film. I think, could it be set in the same universe as Hereditary? I just love the cinematography, how it's set in daylight constantly, because it's in that part of Sweden. Midsommar, is probably one of my favourites from the last 10 years. It's a slow burn, it's 2.5 hours, but, like I say, sometimes I surprise myself, they surprise me with how good they can be. Weird as well, but kind of weird that I like. And our final question, favourite horror icon. Well, there's so many of them. I like Michael, I like Freddy, I like Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein, Monster. But you know what? I'm going to go with one that I have been loyal to with the franchise and the film series. And who thought sportswear could be so intimidating? And that is, of course, Machete Master himself, Jason Voorhees. I even have like a hockey mask tattoo with a number 13 on it as tribute to it, because I love the series that much. So, Jason Voorhees, favourite horror icon. And he's unstoppable. He did have the most kills for the longest time, but of course Michael Myers has took that from him since. But still, I stand by Jason. Michael is my second favourite one, because he is too badass, but he's dead now. He's got destroyed. Jason, he got blown up, yet still came back. He killed Freddy Krueger, had him on his knees. So there you are. So those are all 10 questions. So, yeah, so usually I tag people now, but I don't really know who I know who hasn't been tagged. I know a lot of people that I usually tag have been tagged because I'm part of a community where we all tag one another. You know what? I'm just going to tag you lot. You who are watching. If you want to do this tag, feel free to do so. No pressure, but if you've got time to spare and you want to do this tag, then tag you are it. So there you are. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a good while since I've done a tag and I enjoyed it. So there you are. So I'll leave a question somewhere on this video or something. But yeah, that's it for this one. So be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe. Feel free to do all that. I've been Random Ross. This has been the Horror 2022 tag. So until next time, don't have nightmares.